Welcome to the Holistic Health Call, providing practical and science-based solutions to improving your health and feeling your best. The following discussion is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose or treat any disease. Please do not apply any of this information without first speaking with your doctor. To stay up to date on the latest topics as well as all of our prior episodes, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and share these videos with family and friends. Now, let's head to the show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Edward Catalano at the Center for Integrative Health here in Little Falls, New Jersey. I'm here again this week with my partner Ray Vasquez, personal trainer, health coach. And this week, Ray, we're going to talk about a topic that we've got a lot of requests for information on as far as GI health goes. And you mentioned you saw a couple comments about constipation, right?
Right, correct. Yeah, so they were interested in knowing if they had constipation. What are some of the things they can do, to
help them get things going, right?
Yeah.
So constipation's a real big issue. When I see patients, it's one of the most common symptoms. May not be what they come in for initially, but usually when we're going through other things, many people are constipated. And I think that has to do with just the way people eat in our American diet, lack of hydration, toxic things in foods as far as additives go. They really do bind us up, and they don't allow for this gut bacteria to kind of flourish in the right way, and it slows down our motility. There are a few medical things that can lead to constipation. Some simple ones are sluggish thyroid gland. Sometimes we find that leads to constipation. And then there's more, and something simple as, like I said, dehydration or not being well hydrated. And then there are more complicated issues when you do need to seek a doctor.
Right. So, what kind of foods, would cause...
Would help?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's definitely things you can do at home to try and stimulate going to the bathroom. Again, number one would be to stay hydrated. Drinking water or some kind of herbal tea through the day is probably the best thing to do. But some specific foods, really we talk about fiber. That's the key, and the proper types of fiber. And I have a list of 9 foods that maybe people don't always associate with constipation. A little bit different than foods that are just beneficial for your gut in general, which we can get into in another video. But most of the fruits and vegetables will have good fiber. But I'm going to just give you a couple specific ones that people can try. One of them is, tried and true since my grandmother, is prunes. And prunes, either in solid form or prune paste, or have been known to help stimulate motility of the GI tract. One of the things that prunes have besides fiber is sorbitol, which is an alcohol, sugar alcohol inside of them that helps draw water into the colon.
Okay.
That helps stimulate, obviously, going to the bathroom. So. Big in older people, nursing homes, they use it, sometimes two small prunes a day sometimes can help just that in and of itself.
Does prune juice work?
Well, we both know, once you juice the fruit or the vegetable, it's not, totally irrelevant, but it does take a lot of the fibers out. So it would be better to have the actual fruit itself.
Okay.
The next would be apples. The fiber in apples, one of them is called pectin. Again, really good for the gut bacteria, but good for transit time and gut motility. One basic apple has about 3 grams of fiber, which we really need about 40 to 50 grams a day, and most Americans get about 8, believe it or not. So even one apple can make a difference in this pectin, and apples also have this sorbitol in it, which again will help. So, and the one type of apple that seems to be the best is the Granny Smith. They're all good, but that seems to be the one that has the most fiber out of all the other apples. Along with that, pears. Pears also have pectin and sorbitol, and they do have a couple of other different types of fibers in them, and they've also been known to help with transit time and gastric motility, getting things moving along. So those are 3 common fruits, that we can have and incorporate on a daily basis. One that you may not think about is kiwi. And again, there's a couple studies that show that 2 kiwis a day have improved many people's constipation, just that in and of itself. I'm going to look this up, but kiwi has a compound called adenonectin in it, which does stimulate this, what we call peristalsis, or the contraction of the colon to help move stool along. So that's something. And the other things, that my next one is figs, that is very similar to kiwi and has that compound in it also. So a few figs, a few kiwi a day, and these are from actual studies that show that these things have been helpful.
Okay.
A couple of seeds, so 6 and 7 are chia seeds and flax seeds. Really good sources of fiber. Easy to incorporate in your diet, right? And you can put it in, some yogurt in the morning. You can put it in, some salads. You can put them in it really anything.
Smoothie.
Yeah, smoothie.
Yeah.
Really easy to incorporate. And again, a great source of fiber, omega-3 oils. Really help with the gut microbiome. The only thing you have to be aware of, especially with flax, is if you're pregnant or nursing, you want to stay away from flax for some other reasons.
Okay.
Number 8 is kefir, which is a fermented type of milk, right?
Right.
And so again, there's another study that shows that 8 to 10 ounces of kefir with your morning meal, and 8 to 10 ounces with your evening meal, so it's twice a day, has an effect on constipation and gastric motility. So, it's fermented too, so it helps with the good bacteria in the gut. So it's got a good thing.
Right.
And then there's teas, and the one that really stands out is senna tea. That seems to have the best effect on particularly constipation. But most of the herbal teas will help. But just the warmth of the water, steep the tea for a few minutes. But senna has the ability to help with mobility. So one of the things that's easy to do at home to find out, why, if you're constipated, because even if you go to the bathroom each day, you need to know if the foods you ate are coming out of you in the right amount of time. And we call that transit time. So transit time is the time from when you eat something till you digest it, absorb it, and then eliminate it. And the proper transit time should be around 18 hours, maybe 24 hours at the most. So what I eat today for dinner should come out of me tomorrow in the morning.
Right.
And a simple way that I use with patients to do that is I use this activated charcoal capsules. So depending on your weight, you take a certain amount of capsules of charcoal, which doesn't get absorbed, and it's actually, it's non-toxic. And so when you see this crumbly black charcoal in the commode, So if I know I took these at 9 o'clock in the morning, the capsules, and I see them come out at 7 o'clock in the morning, then I know my transit time was 22 hours,
Right.
which I'm in the ballpark. Even people that go every day can basically be constipated because sometimes the charcoal doesn't come out for 3 or 4 days.
So they're getting rid of stuff from 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Not even though they're going every day.
Exactly.
It's not 20.
So there's a couple of types of constipation. One is that you don't go, but another is you're going but not eliminating in the right time. So both things, need to be addressed. And that's a simple thing to do. You could do it with foods like you can eat a lot of beets, and then you might have a reddish color stool. So when that comes out, so you can see it. But
Yeah.
it's tougher with foods. The charcoal comes out pretty quick.
Never knew that. That's an interesting.
Yeah, and that's called transit time.
Yeah.
Again, a simple test, costs pennies to do, and it can give you a lot of information
Yep.
about your digestive system in general. Because if you have a proper transit time, you can't have a buildup of yeast in your colon. You can't have a buildup of H. pylori in your stomach. You can't have these bad things that people suffer from if the transit time is proper. It just doesn't have time to build up. So it's one thing, again, conventional docs don't really rely on that too much, but they do. So, but when you really need to be concerned about constipation is if you've tried a few of these things, you've been hydrated, you're getting some exercise. That's another thing I need to mention. Exercise can stimulate proper bowel movements.
Right.
And you still are constipated, probably need to see somebody. If you have bad stomach pains, you probably need to see somebody. If you really, really have to force when you go, or if there's blood in the stool, you need to see somebody and really get checked out. So, but those are, it's common complaint, but it is fixable.
I know, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but I know we tend to always look for, like over-the-counter stuff, like Miralax and things like that.
Right.
What are the bad things about those?
So for a temporary relief, you're constipated because, you went on a binge this weekend and you just can't go, and, you can take an over-the-counter laxative like Miralax or something like that. The problem is with chronic use.
Okay.
People that are using it daily, the impulses to the colon to contract properly start to deaden over time with these laxatives, and you're left with a bigger problem.
Okay.
People who've used that as a kid, or their parents have given it to them as a kid because they just want them to go, end up having a lot of these, not paralysis, but a paresis, we call the weakening of the contraction of the colon when they're adults. So, temporary relief, a day or two, but really if you can't start going with proper food and hydration and exercise, you probably need more help in getting going. But it's very important.
One last question. How about like a vitamin C cleanse? Is that?
Yeah, it's something we use, and you know that. We've
Yes.
done that. It's called the C cleanse. So that will stimulate, loose stools for that time. So what it is a special vitamin C powder, and we'll do a video on that because that's a whole 10 minutes in itself. But it's a special L-ascorbate, which is the proper vitamin C form, and you can do it to help detoxify yourself by taking a teaspoon in a little bit of water every 15 minutes until your stools become loose, and then there is usually one that flushes you clean. It's good to help stimulate, routine bowel movements, but that also just sets your vitamin C load, which is the master antioxidant. So it's got twofold. But yeah, that can be one thing. And then, supplement-wise, vitamin C, a good form of vitamin C, and certain types of magnesium have been very helpful in, keeping stools regular. But those are, again, those to be used with some guidance.
Right.
From somebody who knows what they're doing.
Right.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Holistic House Call. Our goal of these videos is to keep it short and sweet and give you one piece of information that you can use in your daily lifestyle.